Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Ready, Set, Recap, where we recap what's been going on. I'm Daniel, joined as always by my best friend Skyler.
Hello, everyone.
This week, in the news, we got a new AEW streaming service, PlayStation making some questionable moves, Xbox talking about their new console, and much, much more. But before we get into all that, Skyler, what's been going on with you this week?
Well, we know the big one. We know that we're finally in the grand line again, but this time in live action. One Piece came out, and I watched the whole damn dirty thing.
In basically one sitting, from what you told me.
Yeah, so friend of the show Steven came over, and we were gonna watch baseball, and we did watch baseball. But before baseball started, we watched like the first half of the season, basically, and then we watched. I'm lumping in two things together because the World Baseball Classic is happening right now. In fact, as we speak, top of the seventh inning in the quarterfinals, USA versus Canada, scores 5-3. That puts a real timestamp on exactly when we were recording this. But yeah, so baseball's happening. Love baseball. Very excited. But yeah, we started watching the new season of One Piece, and then we watched Italy beat USA, actually, which is crazy. And then after the game ended, we're like, well, we could just, we just keep watching One Piece.
We just keep
doing it. We did well into the evening. It was a fun time. And I like this show a lot. It's big surprise.
I'm only a couple episodes in. I've watched the first 3, so I just finished Whiskey Peak. So I guess I'm about to go to Little Garden, and I agree. I think it's pretty good. There's a couple things about it that, like, now that we've gotten a lot of it, I'm starting to be like, okay, all right. Mm-hmm. Like, there's some things to it where I'm like, this might not work 100% live action, but it's still really good. Like, I'm really enjoying it.
My takeaway from this season is basically the same exact takeaway I had from the first season, where I, as a pre-established fan of One Piece, I love it as like a companion piece to the rest of everything we've already gotten, to the manga, to the anime, to all of it.
Of course, the card game.
But when you can find them.
Yeah. God.
I still don't really know what it would be like for a non-fan of One Piece if this was their first thing. If they were like, we'll watch this.
I've been thinking that too.
And I believe that, like, season 1 hooked enough people. They were like, oh, we're on board with this. But again, I'm still not sure. I'm not sure if, like, we showed this to our non-One Piece friends, like, what would they come away liking it at all? And I don't really know.
It's a good question. There's a couple of people I know who do like One Piece and don't care for the show, which I think is fair.
That's
but
gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not as good as the anime, to be frank. It's still great, but it's not like, I don't know. There's certain things about, like, the pacing of it where you're like, we are dead ass sprinting through some of this shit.
Well, you have to.
Yeah. And then there's also, like, there's some minor changes that they're making where it's like, could this have happened? Could this person have been here? Yeah, for sure. But them standing in the background with their top hat on is definitely just like wait, what's that dude doing here? And then people who don't know will just be, like, completely clueless for 10 more seasons. And you're like, that's a choice. Are we sticking with that casting? Does that matter? Probably not.
That one specifically, I feel like it wouldn't even blip a non-established fan's radar. Just like, oh, there's a guy back there.
The camera does focus on him.
He's dressed a certain way. So is it, like, everybody in the show?
Yes and no.
Everyone kind of has. They don't really, like, curb crazy anime outfits for anyone.
No, they do. Yeah, they do anime accurate outfits for everyone. But I would say basically every character that we see who has an anime outfit is a character. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, is somebody who is going to matter. It's like a member of Baroque Works or, whatever. Because even some of the ones who are, like, background characters from, like, Logetown or whatever that have more complex designs. Like, I'm thinking of the guy who runs the sword shop. He just has, like, a weird haircut. And it's like, he's mostly just a guy, I guess. Or, like, there's a guy in the background who has, like, I guess, I don't remember it from the anime, but he has, like, his hair is shaped like a clothes hanger. And I assume he was, he said,
Right.
I'm sure he had like 2 lines in the anime or something. But outside of that, it's like, you go to Whiskey Peak and it's like, everyone here is a cowboy except the character.
The people who matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
So, and that's a very like
Um,
anime thing for sure. Like that fits. I do think you see that
I
guy and you go, who is that? Like that guy, like he's got to matter, right? And then your friend
yeah,
who's
and he,
watched all 1,000 episodes is like, don't worry about it.
punching the
Just don't worry
air.
about
Yeah,
it.
yeah. The show is walking this line of having this incredible benefit of hindsight, being like, well, since we know
Yeah.
where this character
Since
would
we,
be around, and we don't have to retcon them in later, we can establish that they were around. Um,
yeah, that character, the one I assume you're talking about, that character having like direct interaction with the Straw Hats is like a bit much, I think, but it's fine. I don't
sure,
care.
sure, but we do know that he
He was
was
there. He
there,
was
and then
there. Yeah.
yeah, and it's but also, like, I think the other side of the coin is, are they playing with certain pieces under the assumption that the show won't actually get that far? You know what I mean?
I could see that
The,
for Mr. B, but for
the,
Top Hat, I don't know because it's like they didn't do enough with him for it to matter if they don't think they're going to pay that off later. You know what I mean? Him being there is like
mhm.
he like that's just kind of he's just like this is just his story now. If we never get more of it, it's like okay, well he was that guy that was there.
Yeah,
But
but there's a couple other things that are like directly foreshadowed or teased, or certain sense talked about in the coming episodes you haven't gotten to yet, where
yeah,
it's just like, okay, they're referencing that. Is that to lay the groundwork for it if they don't make it past the time skip? Because there's also been this talk recently, well, like the cast were interviewed and they were mentioning how, in a conversation with Oda, he apparently has a specific vision for how far he wants the live action to actually go.
oh
And the fact that that's in conversation would directly imply the answer is not all the way. So,
right.
so
You have to imagine it'd be tough, right? Because if you're only able to do like a season a year, even if you really, really speed it up, it's gonna take a long time. Like these actors are gonna age. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like we're gonna get to the end, and Okikudoi is gonna be like 40.
I mean, could the answer be the time skip?
Maybe.
Could that be
Do like
like,
recast of the time skip? You mean, or what do you
well,
mean?
not
Or
even
just like end
recast,
there?
but like, yeah, so like we go on this journey entirely up to Marineford, and we do Marineford, and everybody cries,
Right.
and then we have the time skip, and then the the show ends as the crew gets back together. Is that, I mean, obviously narratively for people
Yeah,
who just watch the live action,
it would be unsatisfying. I think.
he ain't gonna find the One Piece.
Right.
but but I don't know. I if the conversation is like, oh, we're just gonna go this far anyways, well then he ain't gonna find the One Piece regardless. So
Right.
that's
Yeah. I do
interesting.
think that there's a pretty low chance that this makes it to the end. I do think that's another thing that I was like, oh, we're doing this already. Is
Mhm.
Crocus just like hard drops the name of the final island, like rolls the hard L on it, and I was like, we didn't get that shit for like 700 episodes.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like we didn't even get. I don't think we even got the fake name in the show, and we rolled straight into the real one.
I was most surprised by seeing, you've already alluded to it, I
Yeah.
believe, the in the Laboon flashback,
Oh,
seeing
yeah.
those characters, and then like, oh,
There he is.
hey,
I think we'll get
uh,
that far for sure. We'll get that far. That's probably
I would
like
hope
two
so.
seasons from now. That's season
I,
4.
you'd think that they'd want to get as far as to establish all of the Straw Hat crew in live action. Going,
Yeah, Jinbei's gonna be tough. I mean, I guess you could establish him
he
in
wouldn't,
Impel Down,
he
but
wouldn't have joined the. He doesn't join the crew for a long
long
ass
time.
time, but you would get
Yeah,
him through the Impel Down arc. So that's.
for sure. I guess that could work. Well, I'm sure we'll have a lot more to say about that. Oh, sorry. I actually do have one thing that I do very much want to say. I think it's very important about
Mm,
this show.
mm-hmm.
Smoker.
Yeah,
God damn.
he's awesome.
God damn. That dude's fucking. He's smoking.
He's
I don't remember hit like really what he looked like from the teaser we got at the end of the first season. He rocks up
Just
with
the back of
Tashigi.
him.
He rocks up with Tashigi like episode 1 or 2, whatever it was. And I'm just like, God damn, Smoker never had it like that.
He's bringing it. He's bringing the aura, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, okay. The one like actual negative I have for the show, it's not a big deal, obviously. Like I still am enjoying the show. But when you translate this to live action, there's this weird like tonal disconnect that I'm getting where it's like in one scene, Zoro's like killing a bunch of people with his sword. And just and like fully killing them, like blood spatter, murder. Blood everywhere, which you don't really get in the show, in the anime too much.
I mean, it implied as much as you can.
Yeah.
In animes directed at teenagers, right? But...
Right. And then like it hard cuts to the other scene, which is Luffy like eating pie, and you're like, this show is fucking weird, dude.
But that
like,
is,
it feels weird.
That is the Straw Hat experience. That is just what life is like with them.
But it's just like there's a certain level of it where it's like it's so goofy, and then all of a sudden you're like, Zoro just slit that man's throat, and we like fully saw the blood. That's a lot. I don't need that, actually.
There is, and I think part of what goes towards my argument of like will like non One Piece fans get into this is like there's a heavy amount of what could and should be called fan service, I suppose.
Sure, like those characters showing up in the background.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't find it egregious. Maybe just because this is just another telling of the same journey that I've watched and read and watched again, and then watched a different time, and then watched in English, and then switched back to Japanese. You know, it's just, it happens.
It's definitely easier to like deal with all the weird some of the weird decisions of the show, or like weird vibes of the show when you're like, this is just a companion piece to this other thing I already like. Yeah, but I think you're right. If this is your only entry point to One Piece, it might be kind of a weird one. Maybe not a great one, to be honest.
Maybe everyone who's like dipping their toes in with the live action, they're just getting fleeced because Netflix is going to say like, well, Oda only wants to go this far, but you know what else we have? We're starting a brand new telling of One Piece with better pacing than the original. We're going to trim it down by like 1,000 episodes.
That's going to be crazy. I can't wait for that.
I sent you the like the pacing mock-up of what they were saying like each arc was going to be.
They were going to...
It was... The fat they were trimming was insane. And we've seen stuff like this in anime before. Like immediately my mind goes to Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Z Kai. Like that's just they trimmed all the fat out of that.
Or
that's what the difference is.
Full Metal to Brotherhood.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so that's just, I guess, what the One Piece is going to be to One Piece.
I'm good with that. I do think for me, it might still be a situation where it's like, well, I'm going to watch the Lord of the Rings extended editions. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
except that almost certainly the animation in this shorter version is going to be like way better. So we'll see.
That's also probably true. It's just not the same unless you get the arc between Logtown and Reverse Mountain where they find a dragon.
Yeah. We skipped right over that one, I guess.
What's another good, and by good I mean silly filler arc from early on?
I don't know. We've talked about this in person before, and it's like the thing that I think of the most as a filler arc isn't a filler arc. it's the Davy back fight. Yeah. Honestly, they could skip that in the anime, or the live action is probably fine.
Well, actually, there is like the Logtown arc is half filler. They like extend it with like Usopp getting in a sharpshooting contest with a guy that wants to kill him, and Sanji getting in a cook-off with a lady.
Oh yeah, and we didn't do any of that, I guess. I haven't watched that part of the show in a minute. When
I was watching it with Steven, the live action, Usopp like goes off and he comes back with his goggles. And we were like, whoa, we already did the fight. You already did the sharpshooter fight.
Well, no, it happens like in the background. Not the fight, but he like walks off. There's like a girl with the goggles on, like trying them on at a stall, and he's just like, I should get something for me, and he just like walks over and like you see him start talking to her, and then the next thing he has him.
We were saying like, of course, jokingly, because we didn't assume that any of the filler stuff would make it, but we were like, oh, he's gonna fight her dad, and then he comes back with the goggles. We're like, whoa, he did it.
Whoa. Yeah, We'll definitely talk more about this once I've actually finished it next week, because I think there's going to be a lot to say about it. Probably a whole spoiler cast.
Yeah.
But speaking of spoiler casts, I know that there's another thing you want to talk about this week.
Resident Evil.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually
Yeah.
didn't say it at the top, but we are planning on doing a spoiler cast for Resident Evil 9 at the end of this episode. So we'll just give
Yeah.
our like top level thoughts now, because obviously we both beat it this week, but
Mm-hmm.
this is your section, so you lead.
Is good.
Is real good.
I like it a lot. I think there's a bit of, obviously it's brand new and everyone's talking about it, everyone's loving it. So I think there's surface level like recency bias on my brain, where if you like forced me to rank the series, I think I would be inclined to put it higher than maybe it actually deserves. But so
Yeah,
give it time
I
and
could
it'll
see
find
that.
its real place. But I do really like this game. I like it a lot.
I think we all know that with one exception, the Leon games are the best games, hands down. Right?
The the exception being 6,
Right, exactly. Which
which
is not his
just
fault. My boy didn't do
no.
that.
Hey, to be fair, that's everyone's game.
Yeah.
Like everyone's there. Chris is
To
there. Sherry's there.
Sherry's there. Wesker's son or whatever the fuck is there. I haven't actually
Uh,
played 6. I just know it's ass.
it's doo doo
Um,
butter.
hey, to connect our two topics though, you know who'd make a good live action Leon? The guy who plays Sanji.
Sanji.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. And I know it's because they both came out close to each other, but I would be lying if I said I didn't think about that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Let's do that sometime.
Yeah.
Except we already did that with Beck from Victorious, I guess, and it was, I'm sure, terrible. Didn't see that movie
That,
either.
we all like Beck from Victorious. That was bad. That was bad.
We like the
And it's not
actor
even-
of Beck from Victorious. I don't think we
it's-
like the character. He's like emotionally
Oh.
cheating on Jade for the whole show.
I don't remember any of that, to be honest. I just remember the young people in the school, and then they all got their feet out, and I was
Yeah.
like, okay, yeah, no, that movie's not great. I don't like it. But
Right.
anyways,
Yeah. To the good thing though.
yeah, Resident Evil, man, it's so much fun, and I know that just like echoing both how they sold the game, and I'm pretty sure what I've already said last week, but just the juxtaposition between I'm Grace and I'm scared and terrified and probably neurodivergent, and
Right.
and I can't fight anything and I have to run away, and oh my god, this is the worst nightmare hellscape of all time. And then you play the Leon section and you're basically the Doomslayer.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Although I found myself getting my ass beat more often as Leon than as Grace, because I think I was built in
the unearned
already
confidence.
stealthing. You know what I mean?
Oh sure, makes sense.
And he's fighting spookier things, obviously.
He does.
So he's going through more in terms of physical combat.
I referred to it as famously Michael Jordan's flu game.
Oh, okay.
Michael Jordan had like the game of his career while like suffering from a horrendous flu,
No shot.
and that's literally what Leon is doing in this.
Yeah, for sure.
He pulls out all the stops while just dying worse than anyone's ever died before.
Leon might be one of my. He's got to be on my Mount Rushmore of video game characters. Like end of story,
Absolutely,
right? Like
absolutely.
what a legend. I will say, before we get into the spoiler part of it, like at the end of the episode, stay tuned for that, everybody. I do prefer the Grace sections. I think that they like just feel better to me. The Leon sections are great. There's no bad part of this game. Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that one section, but we'll talk about that later. But it's just like the atmosphere is so much thicker and so much more of the lore is presented to you when you're Grace. And so I do
agree.
feel like her sections are the ones I'm going to remember more, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. This does, if you look at it, it really does feel like two separate games stapled together. That
A little
just
bit.
That kind of fold together more as you go along. And I guess that could be a negative. Once again, maybe it's just like yeah, I do want to play spooky first person Grace. I'm terrified all the time, but then also spoon feed me the fan service of Leon being the coolest, sexiest motherfucker on the planet.
Yeah.
So maybe if you're not a Resident Evil fan, maybe that it does feel more disjointed than it should.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe. But we'll definitely have a lot more to say about that later. So, did you do anything else this week? Any movies or nothing?
I didn't see any movies because the one movie that I was gonna see got bad reviews, and I just didn't do it. I think I still will see it, but next week, so stay
What
tuned
movie's
for
that?
that. The Bride.
Oh, okay.
I just, yeah, I don't know. I mixed stuff. I still will see it, I do believe, but I just didn't make it out there this week because One Piece and baseball and Resident Evil. So no,
Yeah, busy week for you.
that's all I got. Mm-hmm.
Those were also two of the bigger things that I did this week was the first three of One Piece and then all of Resident Evil. I also, of course, continued watching Survivor. Episode
As did
3
I.
was not as good. It had some entertaining bits, but you know, I think it is one of those kind of like holding pattern ones. We got the tribe swap, which ended up,
Yeah.
I don't know how much it's really mattered yet, and I do think we're probably going to get another swap like within the next 2 episodes because a lot of the time in these returnee seasons they like to shuffle it up a lot so that people like interact with all of the other people because that's what we want to see is our favorite people play with our other favorite people, you know what I mean?
Yeah, makes sense.
So highlights of this episode for sure has to go out to my boy Charlie, who I love Charlie so much. He just like me for real.
Mhm.
Where Rizzo like thinks he's getting in good with Charlie, but he like
Oh, yeah.
accidentally hits Charlie's biggest trigger, which is the whole Maria situation. Which how did that play for you? If you haven't, I mean, I think they explained it decently, but like obviously you didn't watch
They
that
did.
season.
They did. Just to recap, I'm brand fresh new to Survivor. I've never watched anything before. I'm just watching it because Daniel's my friend.
Yeah, hey, what's up?
And I obviously am not coming in knowing all the history, but they covered it well enough. I'm like, got it,
Yeah,
cool.
it's
And
yeah.
the absolute Vietnam flashback
Oh my
he
god,
had,
the way they
Charlie
edited it
had,
too, so
yeah,
good.
just him just like laying there, rolled up like a little caterpillar, being like, "Oh, it's on."
It's on. Rizzo's
You
gotta
will.
die, and then he doesn't. He doesn't go out this episode, which is good because I really
No, not
like
yet.
Rizzo.
Mhm.
Um, I was so disappointed with who went out this episode though because I love him so much. I didn't think he had any chance of winning, but like he's just so entertaining. You know what I mean? He's so
Yeah,
good
yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
TV.
I think he just played himself too hard, too fast.
Yeah, but he's also cute. It's Q. Sorry, spoilers, I guess. But
Mm.
he's very new. He's his first season was 46, which is the best new era season by far. So he will almost certainly get to play again. Like this is not the last time we're going to see Q in the game. So I'm
Mhm.
okay with him going out and as opposed to like an Ozzy or a Suri or somebody because these people who've been
Right.
playing since forever ago, anytime they play could be the last time. You know what I mean? But somebody
Right.
as loved by the fan base as Q, we're going to see him again.
For
100%.
sure.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So that's cool. But yeah, the whole Charlie situation was crazy, as Moist Critical would say. Uh it's basically in his season, he was working with this older woman, not like old, but like, you know, older for Survivor, like 40 something. And she they were like together the whole time, but no one really knew they were together until right at the end. And then she was going to betray him, you know, get him voted out
Mhm.
because at a certain point, if you and your number one go to the final three together, it does become a thing where it's like you're gonna split votes because you work together on all the same things. So it becomes tougher for
Mhm.
you to get the votes at the end to win. So it happens all the time. But she was gonna vote him out, and then he caught on to it and voted her out first because he's frankly a better player. And she took it salty and voted for somebody else who, and the person who won I think still deserved it and did a great job and is a good winner, but that was the only vote that he needed to win was the one that
Mhm.
Maria didn't give him. And so it
Mhm.
is like one of the more salty jury moments of the new era. It's definitely I think everyone who watches that season is like, I can't believe she did that. um
Crazy.
but only other thing I did this week is I listened to 2 new albums.
Oh.
So neither of them I would say are like what I expected or things that I'll probably listen to a lot in the future. But Gorillaz put out a new album called The Mountain. That's
Okay. Heck yeah.
it's apparently themed after a trip that they took to India, and you can tell like there's a lot of like Indian instruments and India like Indian music in it.
Okay.
And I think that works. Like it's really good for like just kind of vibing. Like if you were listening to it and just like working, it'd probably be really good. I was listening to it while driving, and for me, I was just kind of like, this doesn't feel like what I wanted. Like it's good, but it's not what I expect from Gorillaz, if that makes sense. Like Clint
Sure.
Eastwood, this is not.
Mhm.
But there's some really good stuff in it. Like I definitely recommend giving it a shot if you're just like bored one day. And then the other one that I listened to is from Harry Styles, It's called Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally. And
Okay.
it's just not good. Like that one I'm actually disappointed in. Gorillaz is like still good, but just not what I wanted. This one I think is like just not good. Which is disappointing because I feel like his last couple of things he's put out have all been like pretty good. Like not amazing, not ones that I'm like, raving about or anything, but like have had some like real hits in them. This one, that really there was nothing in it that stood out to me, and I'm like, it just feels very unlike him. I feel like he always has at least one that's like, oh, this is going to be like a club banger, or like a specific thing that a group of people will click onto really heavily. But it seems like the general consensus on this new album is like it's just not it. Like it feels like he just put one out to put one out a little bit, which is disappointing. But not a whole lot to say about either of those because they didn't blow my skirt up, but they were interesting. So why not? Anyway, let's talk about the news.
The news.
So the first thing that I have is actually also about Resident Evil. So that's pretty cool.
Yay! Yay!
This week, because the game Resident Evil Requiem has been doing so well, they had a sort of impromptu event of sorts where, I mean, I guess event might be a little bit too strong. It was just like one or two of the people who worked on the game standing in front of a camera talking about some stuff. And basically he just said they're going to add photo mode and a new mini game, which is probably going to be either a shooting gallery or like a mercenaries mode. If I had to guess, that's what it usually is. And then
Yeah, that's what it normally is.
he announced that they're also working on a story DLC, which
Yes.
probably won't come out for a while, but I am excited for it. There's definitely a lot of things that happen near the end of this where it's like, oh, there are some strings on this that I can see. I would be curious to see which direction that they go with this DLC.
And we'll talk about that in the spoiler part.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of options for that. So I think that's interesting. The way that he said it does to me imply it's going to be a while before we get it, which is maybe a little bit of a bummer. But more content is always good. Although I will say, I didn't ever go back for the DLC for 7 or 8. Like I never played the expanded, like the added stuff on that.
I played the DLC for 7.
The like Zoe one or whatever it was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think I played both. The one I remember is the one where you play as Chris and you deal with, because of the family, by the time you finish 7, like the brother Lucas is the only one that you don't deal with.
Right.
And there's a DLC where you play as Chris and you deal with Lucas. So
right.
that's the one I remember the most. There is that Zoe one that I think I played, but I don't remember it like at all.
Right. And then 8 had the one where you play as the daughter.
You play as Rose, yeah, and I didn't
touch that
play
one.
that. No.
I don't think I even watched anybody play that one, to be honest with you.
Let me tell you, now that I've played 9, I do want to go back and play 8 specifically. I do want to play that one again because I really liked that one.
It's really good. It does feel at this point like just a completely different franchise.
Yeah, both of the Ethan games do feel very different.
But hey, that's pretty cool. Got some Resident Evil stuff to look forward to. Here's some bad news, although there is a part of me that enjoys it, unfortunately.
Oh no.
The dark side of me.
No.
So the Ellison company, Oracle, is doing badly. This is the part I don't like. They've They've chosen to lay off 30,000 people. That sucks. The part that I enjoy about it is that the reason that they felt that they should do that is because the banks are like, stop with the AI shit, and they pulled their funding from Oracle.
Yeah,
which is good. But obviously we hate people losing their jobs.
Yeah, we hate people losing their jobs, but the AI stuff was making people lose their jobs anyways.
Right. So. Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. It's it's bad on both sides. The one fun thing about this is so Oracle is the company that is giving its money to the Ellison family, who owns Paramount, to buy Warner Brothers. Like that is where all of their money is coming from. That isn't coming from Saudi Arabia or Tencent or whatever. Do we think that the banks pulling funding makes the Warner Brothers thing like less stable? Because they already didn't have the money to pay for it. Like they're buying Warner Brothers on loan, basically.
Yeah.
And now the company that gave them their money is failing.
Yeah. Less stable is tricky. I feel like, obviously, at the end of the day, we would want that.
Right.
I think. But you'd have to imagine that they have certain contingencies. This is me speaking with absolutely no knowledge on business.
I am
but a lonely ant. I'm a little bug on the sidewalk. I ask you, just please don't step on me. But no, I don't think. I mean, maybe this is gonna give some people like pause or have to re-strategize certain things, but I don't think it'll slow it down any more than they were already being slowed down by a bunch of other factors.
Sure.
So if anything, they might just like have to go to their other investors and re-strategize and
With
just
Saudi.
up their loan numbers on that side of it.
And I could see them doing that, but they've already had to inflate it so far to beat Netflix that now it's like, okay, well, we rose this to a degree that the most money making streaming service on the planet felt it no longer made sense for them to pay that amount. And now
Yeah,
we, a foreign government and a group of failing companies, are going to find a way to try and pay this. Like, I don't know. Like, it's definitely questionable. I don't know that this like stops it from going through, but I definitely think it's going to make them have to rethink certain things. Minimally,
sure.
what it means is that if it does go through still, that they're going to end up doing just like even more layoffs. And so I think because of that, that may cause them some more regulatory problems going through. If all of the
Yeah.
companies look at, or all of the, what you call it, the FCC and whatever the UK version is called, and yada yada, so on and so forth. If they're looking at it and they're like, you want to buy this company that wasn't doing super great financially, and you also don't have the money to do it, and you are failing to run your own companies, at what point are they like, this is a bad idea? Like, at some point, there's got to be where it's like, this is just mutually insured destruction.
Yeah, I would say pure conjecture, me guessing.
I mean, same.
The one thing charging it ahead would be I think Saudi Arabia just wants it.
They do. They do.
And they have all the money in the world to get it. So I feel like they'll just be able to they would be the ones to double, triple, quadruple down and
Right.
be like, well, I
But
mean, raise our percentage in owning,
but
give us all the
also
Warner Brothers theme parks.
with the war breaking out in the Middle East, does that also
That's
cause Saudi Arabia to have to rethink how they're spending some of their money? Because I mean, there was bombs going off over Dubai.
yeah,
Like, everyone's
that's
getting
weird.
getting a piece of it. You know what I mean?
That's
Do they need to
that's the
redirect some of this
Emirates,
money to
right?
defend
So
themselves instead of buying Batman? The world is not the same as it was when this deal started, basically.
no,
Yeah.
no,
So I don't know,
no.
man. There's so many questionable things about this where it's like, I truly cannot even hazard a guess what's going to happen with this whole situation. But I do love to see Oracle failing, even though I hate to see people losing their jobs.
Yeah, we're always against AI here.
Yeah.
Not a fan of it.
So,
Fucking sick and tired of it, to be
yeah.
completely honest.
Especially the Oracle one. The Oracle one is like blatantly used to spy on people.
That's yeah. So we're hmm.
Yeah. Well, hey, speaking of streaming services, AEW is launching a new one for everyone except us and Canada. There's an AEW All Elite Wrestling streaming service that was announced a couple days ago now called My AEW. It has 3 different tiers that, let's see, the cheapest one is $8, and it gives you access to an AEW, they call it the AEW Fast Channel, which I assume is just playing old episodes of like Dynamite and shit.
Yeah, I think so.
Access to AEW podcasts, which like, I don't know, I feel like I already got those, but whatever.
Every tier has that, and
Yeah.
I gotta be honest,
Not going to
man.
use that part.
Wait, no. I love podcasts, and I fully support anyone who has a podcast.
Yeah.
Please like and subscribe any and all podcasts
Well,
you listen
the
to.
thing is, like, we're better than the AEW podcast, so like, don't pay them to get their podcast. Like, just subscribe to us; it's free. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
So you get Dynamite and Collision live, which I feel like you can also get in a lot of other streaming services. So I mean, it's nice to have it all in the same place, I guess. Ring of Honor Club Live TV, Ring of Honor, all Ring of Honor pay-per-views, and then access to the AEW TV archive. Then for $20 a month, you also get one pay-per-view airing during that month, which they make very specific to say that, which I think is interesting because AEW doesn't do 12 a year. So there's a lot of months where you wouldn't be getting that. So I'm not really sure that makes sense all the time, unless they're going to expand this to do one a month, which I could see, but I don't know that I want.
Yeah.
And then you also get access to select pay-per-view archives. And then if you instead buy that annually, you can buy it for $120 and just get all the pay-per-views, which that one probably makes more sense.
No, that one absolutely makes the most sense, especially considering. I mean, I know it all depends on how big of a wrestling fan you are, how much you are. That sounded elitist. How big of a fan you are.
Yeah.
No. How much time you personally devote to watching wrestling. if we had the ability to get this, that's the tier I would get, because you just pay your one annual fee.
Right.
You don't have to worry about buying every pay-per-view, which our group of friends does anyways. We get together and we figure out, like, okay, we're going to watch this one, we're going to watch this one. But then also, like, as of right now, we've been leaving, like, all Ring of Honor pay-per-views to the wayside, but that would be included.
So you just have
100% that would be worth it for us. But that doesn't fucking matter, because we live in the US and in hell, and we don't get it.
I do think we'll get it eventually. I think that there's something there. It's probably a combination of like weird streaming rights, because I know that they've promised it to like some other things. Because the thing is, we have got, like, the United States has got to be AEW's biggest audience, right? So there's
undoubtedly
a thing where it's probably some amount of they've got to figure out streaming rights with whoever they've got it loaned to right now, and then also they might be like low key kind of testing it in these other markets to make sure that it doesn't suck. So. I don't know. I do think we'll get it eventually. For sure we'll get it eventually.
I would hope so. I just hope there's not some sort of like weird clause in American broadcasting, like pay-per-view circuit stuff, that says like you're actually not allowed to go against this competing brand for whatever. You have to allow blah 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 blah. This was the answer. And I saw this post on social media, and it said like except for US and Canada, and I was like, yeah, that fits. But then,
the prices are listed in the fucking USD.
Yeah, and a friend posted in a group chat for us, like, "Hey, check this out. This is awesome." And I was like, "Oh, but I thought this wasn't." And then I spent basically the entire day that this came out, like trying to find, like, "Hey, is this for us or not?" And the answer didn't come for like a day later, and the answer is not.
Yeah. Not yet, I guess, but yeah, no, it's very weird that they would list the prices in U.S. currency and then have us be the only people not getting it. But I don't know. There was also the same situation with like the WWE network for a while, where it was like
it was still active in the UK. And
right. So there's got to be different like laws or whatever, different groups streaming different things in different places, that it just makes. There's got to be some reason that it makes sense for them, and I'm just hoping that reason eventually brings it to us, because I think this makes more sense to me than paying, what is it, like $40 for every pay-per-view?
Yeah, about. I mean, it used to be 50, but then the deal that they struck with HBO Max is like, hey, as long as you already pay for HBO Max, now you only have to pay 40, which is basically just the fucking same thing.
Yeah.
I love being an American consumer.
Yeah. Well, hey, I mean,
love it.
That means at that price, you're basically just annually buying 3 pay-per-views, and then everything else is gratis, which is nice, I guess.
Yeah, but again, they need to let us do it, but
for sure.
Won't.
Let's talk about video games. Skyler, I've got 3 weird things that happened over at PlayStation this week. One of them is pretty bad. The other ones are questionable.
Okay.
The bad one is this. Skyler, a second PlayStation remake studio has hit the unemployment line. Now, this one wasn't owned by PlayStation, although there were a lot of rumors that they were trying to be bought by PlayStation and the PlayStation was considering it. Like, that conversation was for sure happening. But it seems like instead, they didn't, and so now they're closed. This is, of course, being Ballistic Moon, the studio that did the Until Dawn remake last year. Or was it 2 years ago? Whatever. To coincide with the movie that was bad. It's really curious. The situation with it is murky, because it's like people are very questioning why the studio ever existed. Like, it seems like they were sort of encouraged to leave Supermassive to do this, and then the assumption is that they were going to have more plans after this. A lot of the rumors right now are that they were going to do an Until Dawn 2 after this, which is why the Until Dawn remake changed the ending a little bit to like tease at a sequel. But then I think because that remake performed really badly, because no one needed it, the game wasn't that old, and you didn't improve it that much, right? I think they said, oh, people don't want Until Dawn, taking the wrong message from it, and just decided not to buy or support that studio anymore, and so now they're gone. So that is unfortunate. We did sort of unfortunately see this coming, though, because they had laid off almost all of their staff very quietly late last year, and so the writing was on the wall for it. but now it is official. They are officially closed. Do you have anything about that?
Yeah. We're here again.
Here we are.
We're here mourning another studio that was shut down for stupid reasons.
Yeah, it's a mess. PlayStation is also, you may not have known because no one's talking about it. Marathon came out last week.
I did. Did I know that it came out? I don't even know. Marathon it's here, I guess.
I was talking with a friend and I was like, yeah, I might give it a shot when it comes out. And he's like, it's been out for days. And I was like, oh, then no, I won't. Because I didn't know. Probably a big portion of why I didn't know is because most reviewers have chosen to not put out a review for it yet because PlayStation asked them not to. PlayStation said, hey, can you please, holding a gun, I'm sure, not do a review for Marathon yet and wait a month until the Cryo Archive raid comes out and then you can review it. And the overwhelming majority of publications have elected to just not review it until that happens for some reason. So PlayStation kind of gets to get away with just putting out an unfinished game that people are not enjoying because right now it's bad.
That is insane.
Yeah.
That's next level insane. How much do video games cost nowadays?
This one's cheaper. I think this one's $40.
What, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it's one of those situations where it's like, truthfully, to be successful, most games of service probably need to be free, but so a lot of companies are instead choosing to, instead of making it free to play and then charging you for microtransactions, to instead make it cheaper and then charge you for microtransactions, and that's what the situation here was. So yeah, I have yet to find a single person that I know who has played this and enjoyed it. I've only found a couple of people who have played it. And I think some of that is because people don't know it's out, and some of that is because it's bad. A friend of mine who is a really big, specifically Bungie fan, he has specifically was like, I tried so hard and just could not enjoy this game. And I think that's pretty telling.
What does being a Bungie fan even mean now?
Destiny. It just means you play a lot of Destiny.
It used to mean you loved Halo.
Yeah.
And then it meant you loved Destiny 2.
Right. And but it also means if you like Destiny 2 today, then you have to hate Halo because they don't make it anymore.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can't like Halo 3 or Halo 2?
You can like the old Halos, I guess, but you have to say
you can't like 343 Halo.
Yeah, you have to say
That's
4 or
fine.
5 and Infinite are terrible and they're the worst things ever and they're like criminal and oh my god and just constantly bring up very stupid nitpicks about it. Like every time you get into a conversation about Bungie.
I don't know about criminal. I'm not a huge fan. That's great. That's interesting.
Yeah. The fan base is fractured. But it's so weird. It's so weird that PlayStation just has this ability because there is nothing that they can do to stop like IGN from writing a review right now. The game's out. You can play it. You can write a review, right? They've already had their review copies probably for a little bit before that even. But they've just asked. They've just been like, hey, don't write the review yet. And so they're getting away with putting out a half-assed bad game.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Let me make something abundantly clear. I'm going to preface this by saying that I'm talking to both mega PlayStation fanboys and mega Xbox Microsoft fanboys, both of you. You are in a cult.
It's crazy.
You are in a cult. You have been basically brainwashed because the box I play video games on is this color.
Right.
The box you play video games on is that color. Then you will do it is the same thing. You've decided to like co-opt bipartisan American politics for fun.
Yeah. You've decided to make a brand your personality, and that's crazy.
That's fucking bonkers. You're an insane person.
But that doesn't even surprise me, right? People do that all the time for like, oh, I'm an Apple guy. I'm a fucking, that shit. People attach themselves to brands in ways that don't make sense and always have. What blows me the fuck out of the water is like the people playing the game, the actual fanboys are not enjoying the game and are saying that they're not enjoying the game. It's the people who work in the industry, who work at IGN, who work at Eurogamer, who work at these places. They're the ones who are picking a side, it feels like, and being like, well, we can't put out a review for this bad game. Daddy PlayStation asked us not to. What?
I mean, that all comes down to like, well, if PlayStation says don't talk about how bad our game is, but then we do, then they're not going to invite us to the party next time.
I guess so. It literally has to be something like that.
That's what the industry is.
It's
100%
crazy. It's crazy. I guess other companies either don't do that or the industry doesn't care. Because like EA's evil, and we talk shit about their games all the time. Like people who write reviews will, Xbox gets it hard, Ubisoft gets it hard, like all of these other big publications. But like PlayStation and Nintendo to a lesser extent, like they just get away with fucking murder.
Yeah.
I've never heard of a company just telling the critics to give them a pass. In my life, I've never heard that.
Now I'm trying to think. There has to be someone. I mean, it's so specific to video game industry, isn't it? Because there's no other form of what I normally would like to refer to as art.
Sure.
That someone, a director can't say, hey, I know my movie's not done and we're putting it in theaters anyways, but I promise I'll finish it later.
Well, because there's never going to be... Well, okay. I guess there's like Zack Snyder's Justice League or whatever. But for the most part, it's like what comes out to theaters is the movie. Well, like that's it's not going to be changing.
The closest thing you can really compare it to is if George Lucas said, hey, this isn't my final vision. If you promise to hold on and give me your money, but hold on for like 30 years... 20-ish years. We will put out a new, better version for you. You have to pay for it again. But,
right.
But it'll be better that time. And then you can review it how I want you to.
It's crazy. I wish I had more intelligent things to say about it, but I just think I think it's insane that PlayStation would ask. I think it's insane that they would put out such an unfinished game. And I think it's insane that the reviewers are just going along with it.
You know what? Sticking with George Lucas and Star Wars here, actually. Do you remember? Of course, you wouldn't remember because we were not alive at the time. We are not that old. But when Star Wars came out, there was huge hype for the toys, obviously, and Kenner had this like mail away thing for like we don't have the toys. We don't have them yet. They are not made. But if you mail away, we will send you like the toy display thing. And little cardboard cutouts of the toys to be placeholders until we can send you the toys.
Oh, that's funny.
And they did it famously. It's people did it. People had the little cardboard Luke Skywalker.
I mean, shit, man. I don't know. Was that like a pre-order? Like, were they going to send you the toy, or did you still have to buy the toy separately later?
I think you got the toy eventually.
Okay.
I
guess that's a little bit better. But yeah,
you. I mean, theoretically, that's what this is supposed to be too, right? They're just like they're saying it'll be a
they're like, oh, it's a games as a service game. You know, it's going to evolve. Blah 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 blah. It's not done yet. But if it's a games as a service game, it's always going to be adding new things. So, doing a review at any point would have the same thing.
The thing is, right? Those kids in the 70s, to my knowledge, they all got their toys.
Right.
But imagine you buy the game. And then you don't get your toy. Like that's early access across the board. Don't buy a game unless it's fucking finished.
Don't buy a game unless it's out. You know, it's crazy. Like and the other part of this is like, okay, it's a month until the raid or whatever that they want you to wait to rate the review for comes out. Mm-hmm. The player base is already very fast falling off this thing. And we've seen live service games go down in 4 or 5 weeks. What is it going to look like by the time this raid comes out? Are they who's going to still be playing it? How many people? Because the play test that they did had 150,000 concurrents or something, and then it launched and it was already down to like 70, and it's just been dropping since then. Like half the people who played the play test said, "No, I'm good," and did not come back.
I don't think I've seen a single advertisement for Marathon.
Well, it's because they don't want you to know it's out yet. They just want you to give you their money.
But then what? Okay, so when
it's the same thing that they're doing in the next story we're going to talk about. They're gouging their most loyal fans.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Let's get into that. Let's.
So PlayStation is also trying out what they're calling dynamic pricing, which they didn't announce to anybody.
Yeah,
but we did see it. What this is that if I log on my PlayStation and you log on to your PlayStation, the price of a game may not be the same. Some people are trying really hard to sugarcoat this and saying real hard. Like, it's crazy the shit I've seen on some podcasts.
So right off the bat, this isn't just evil.
No, it is evil. It is.
No, I know it is.
Yeah.
But there are people saying it isn't.
There are people who are claiming that this is a way that they are going to reward their most valuable players by giving them bigger discounts. That's not the case. That's already not the reality that we're seeing.
Oh, really now?
Yeah.
So if I play PlayStation exclusive games for 40 hours a week, then I can earn $5 off. Is that what they're saying it is?
I mean, kind of. They're like, oh, if you're loyal to PlayStation, they'll give you a discount, which is already
loyal to brand,
which is already creepy.
Fuck out
which
of
is
here.
already creepy. That's an insane thing to say.
Loyal to
but then also,
PlayStation.
when we've seen examples of how this is working, and this is just testing. It hasn't been like an official thing. So, it either will stop happening altogether or get way worse than it is now.
It has to be something that they walk the fuck back real fast. Because
I don't know, because people are defending it. The PlayStation fan base is like, yeah, man, this is great. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them. But like some of the most vocal ones. Like ones who have huge podcasts.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
But it's what we've already seen is that literally one guy logged in on his girlfriend's account and on his account and saw that a game franchise that he already owned all of the ones in that franchise for was more expensive for him than it was for her, because the algorithm knew that he would buy it.
He's more likely to buy it. Yeah. Of course.
So they're giving discounts to people who didn't buy it to try and convince them to buy something that they probably wouldn't buy otherwise. Because some money is better than no money. But if you were already probably going to buy it, then they're not giving you a discount. They're charging you either full price or, as we've already seen in some cases, raising the price. There's maybe this part they'll roll back, but I doubt it. There's a version of Grand Theft Auto 5 on PlayStation right now that for some people is like $10 more expensive than like base cost. It's just $10 more expensive now for no reason.
Grand Theft Auto 5, which came out
in 2013 or 2012.
Okay, so over a decade ago.
Yeah. But also they know people are probably trying to buy it right now because 6 is supposed to come out this year. So
You're right. So
what's happening? Why is this happening? Why are they getting away with this?
What I would like is for somebody, one of these stout defenders of brand, to explain to me, like one person specifically, why it is a good thing that I should have to spend more money than anyone else in particular to buy a game. So, here's why it's good for PlayStation for you to have to spend $80 instead of $70.
Here's what they'll tell you, because this was the conversation I heard on a podcast that I normally quite enjoy, but was very disappointed in this conversation. I won't name them because I hope they'll get better.
Do better.
But basically, since the Phil Spencer retirement was announced, they've gotten real fanboyism, like out of nowhere. And I'm like, brother, please roll it back. You were doing so well for a minute there. But what they will say is that this is so, and they'll still phrase this as though it's a good thing, because they pulled back from PC. They need to make more money on their own console. Because
they need to make more money. Okay, how's that my problem?
In order to afford, because you want their games, but they can't afford to make their big games unless they charge more money. So they need to make more money to justify the raising budgets of the games that they are choosing to pay more to make. And so in order to subsidize that, you get to pay them more.
I get to pay them. Okay, but what if everybody pays them more?
Because they have decided, because fuck you, dude, because they know that you'll pay for it.
No, I won't though.
Well, but not you. The hypothetical you that bought every Resident Evil on PlayStation and and is just like a whale or whatever. They know that you'll pay $100 for it, which they haven't raised anything that high. I'm exaggerating at this point, but you get the point. And because they pulled back from PlayStation, they're going to be selling, or from PC rather, they're going to be selling multiple millions less copies of like basically every game that they make now. So on top of, they've decided to sell the game to less people. And so they need to price gouge literally their most loyal fans in order to justify a different bad choice they made.
Okay.
And then once the podcast says that, but in a way where they make it sound like a good thing, then they'll deflect and start saying something bad about Xbox. That was the literal podcast episode. Is like, you know, and they have to defend PlayStation because obviously Xbox is failing. Like, they're gunning out of hardware, even though they just announced an Xbox last fucking week.
Right. I don't even come at this like a pro Xbox. I don't know what Xbox has to fucking do with this conversation of
literally nothing.
You want me to on a PlayStation, which I own a PlayStation. I like my PlayStation, right?
Right.
I am a consumer. I'm not a fanboy. I'm not a cultist. I'm a consumer because I've been forced to be, because that's what we do in America.
That's what we do here. Yeah.
So I'm a consumer, right? I want to play a game. This game is now more expensive for me than it is for my next door neighbor because the algorithm says, fuck you. Yeah. And I say, that's not okay.
Yeah.
And then your response is, but you get to because PlayStation is God. Dude, shut the fuck up. You absolute loser.
It's insane. It's insane. And the fact that these two stories came out back to back this week, and so many of the podcasts that I listen to about video game stuff are just like, yeah, so anyway. It's like, what do you mean? What
other industry is that a thing?
I don't know.
What other?
Yeah.
So like,
well, because it's already exclusivity is already not a thing outside of like streaming, I guess. But like, you wouldn't go to AMC and be like, oh, well, I have to go to AMC to watch Doomsday because they don't show Doomsday at Cinemark. You know, like, that's not a thing. That was actually specifically made illegal back when Disney used to want to buy movie theaters.
Right, of course.
So, but it's legal here because fuck us, I guess.
If I go to a movie theater or a baseball game or the fucking grocery store,
right,
and I want to buy a box of Cheez-Its, and then I see the dude at the counter next to me, his algorithm says that his Cheez-Its are $5.99 and mine are $16.27.
Yeah.
The fuck is that?
Well, they know that because you come in here every week and you buy Cheez-Its every time. But that guy's never bought Cheez-Its at this location before. So we don't know whether or not it's going to be like worth his money. So we have to give him a discount. But not you. Because for you, you know that like that's worth it to you, right?
Y'all know we're in a war, right? Like an actual world war. Y'all know that there's other shit going on. And the price of gas is going up.
It's like it went up like $1 in the last week and a half.
Y'all know that we're humans trying to live the same experience,
we're
right?
Just
survive and pay our rent and buy our food. What are we doing, man?
It's actually insane. It's actually insane. Like,
I think this is the maddest I've ever been on our podcast before.
And it's crazy. It is crazy because, like, objectively, we've probably talked about things that are worse, but it's just the combination of like everything happening.
It's the reaction to it.
Yeah.
It's the reaction to you get to pay more to help PlayStation.
Yeah.
Oh, do I?
People,
thank you.
I'm watching podcasts with millions of subscribers where the people on those podcasts are going like, "This is a great business move. This is a genius move for them," and I'm like,
"Well,
okay, is it a good move for us, for the consumer?"
So will maybe the algorithm will help factor in the fact that I'm just not going to trust PlayStation to buy things digitally then. How about that?
Yeah, probably not. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yet another reason to support only buying physical things.
What I'm saying.
Which, by the way, I know that Pocopia came out and everyone's really happy, and man, I would love to play that game.
I do want to play it at some point, but
the fact that it's only digital really drives me crazy.
Well, there are physical versions, they're just impossible to find.
Are there? I thought there just weren't any.
No, there's physical versions, they're just sold out everywhere because it's super popular. Yeah. You might be thinking of the story where Amazon raised the price of theirs $10 because they were selling out, but then it turned out that the version they were selling was just a fucking like it wasn't even a chip.
Code.
It was
they
a code.
They were selling codes.
Yeah. But if you like pre-ordered a copy at GameStop or Walmart or whatever, like there are physical versions of it, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Would you like to get into our last news story before we talk about Resident Evil again?
It depends what it is. I don't even remember at this point.
It's just the stuff that Xbox talked about at GDC. It's not.
Oh.
It's nothing crazy. Nothing's bad. Maybe something good, but also like we'll have to see what it actually means.
Mm-hmm.
So there's really, I would say, 2.5 like things that they actually said of value. They said a bunch of stuff about like what kind of stuff the next console is going to be able to do in terms of like, oh, it'll be as powerful as this and blah blah blah, and like just kind of ballparking because they're not giving like very specific numbers yet. But none of those numbers mean anything to me because I'm not a tech guy, so I'm not the guy to have that conversation. But it seems like it'll be pretty powerful. Sure. I guess people seem excited about it. I don't know. I don't know that it's stuff. That's not my ballpark. They have hard confirmed that you're going to be able to play your PC games on it. They didn't say Steam, which I think people were concerned about, that it would just be Steam, but they are very specifically saying PC games, which implies that it would be PC games from like multiple storefronts, so like Epic, blah blah blah, Battle.net, whatever.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense.
So that could be cool. They did say that because I don't think this is related to the launch of the console. I think both are just happening at the same time because it's the 25th anniversary. But they've also said that they want to sort of revive the backwards compatibility program, at least for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good part for me. It seems like they haven't said specifically what it's going to be, but the rumors are it's going to be a combination of two things. It's going to be them basically taking the emulator that they have on the console, where you can play Xbox original and Xbox 360 games on like newer hardware, and just put that into the Xbox app on your computer, like basically their launcher, so you can just play your old games through there, which is kind of cool because right now those games are unplayable on PC, most of them. So that's that's a cool thing. It's a cool thing for like what do you call it? Preservation, I guess. Like just give it, it's another location where you can play these games finally, which is cool.
Need preservation.
It also seems like they're going to make a lot more games, not a lot more games, but make more games playable through backwards compatibility. Because if you remember, the way they did it is they want all of them to also be like purchasable again, or at least most of them to be purchasable again, which means that they have to get rights from the original owners. And some of those are hard to find from the year 2000 because the industry is chaos. And so everything is like going out of business, blah, blah, blah. Since the time that they stopped doing this program originally, like Embracer bought a bunch of stuff, they bought a bunch of stuff, and so the ownership of certain things has changed hands, and probably in ways that'll make it easier for them to put more things on backwards compatibility. And so I do think that there's going to be a good amount of that happening. Namely probably things from like old Activision and Blizzard, which would be cool to potentially see like StarCraft be playable on an Xbox, because of course now the Xbox will be able to play PC stuff as well. So all that stuff could just come over and be, played natively on an Xbox. That'd be interesting. So those are sort of the two things that people are saying are the most likely scenario. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy. I don't think it's going to be like, and now every single game playable on the original Xbox is playable on the, playable on your Series X. Like that seems unlikely.
Wow.
But I think from what I've been seeing online, there's really not a ton that aren't already backwards compatible that people are like actively asking for. There's a couple ones, like there's some notable misses, but I don't know how much they could add. So anything that they add is going to be a positive, I think. So that'd be cool.
Sure.
They've also announced that starting, I think, next year, anybody who, and this is more technical, so I don't know that I'm going to do a great job describing this, but I'll try my best, I promise.
Hey, we're idiots, but go ahead.
They're rolling out a program where people who launch their games on Xbox will get access to a service called PlayFab. So, and this is strictly for developers. GDC is a conference for developers. It's literally the game developer conference. So all of these conversations were targeting them, not us. And basically what it is like, hey, we found through this system, through this thing, it'll make it way, way, way easier to port things from PC to Xbox in a way that, from what I've been seeing online, has a lot of devs being like, oh, okay, yeah, that'll take us like a couple days to port it instead of like a couple months. So that's really good for them, because that was one of the things that people were really concerned about with them selling less consoles, is that like, well, now there's less reason for people to port stuff to it. But now if it's like A, super cheap, B, gives you access to this service that helps you do other things, even when you're porting it to other platforms, like if you wanted to port it from PC to PlayStation or whatever, or to Switch, it like gives you all these benefits and things that can help you with it. People are like, oh, so yeah, a lot more people are probably going to port their stuff to Xbox. So that's good for them too. That's nice. That's cool. I'm sure they're not doing it out of the goodness of their heart. I think that they're largely doing it because of exactly that concern of like they are in third place in terms of console sales, and so there has been this conversation online, although I haven't seen it reflected in actual releases, that like, oh well, why would you put any of your games on Xbox anymore? And we haven't been seeing that play out in reality. Like, if anything, Xbox has been getting more of the games that they usually miss out on, like Japanese games. Like Final Fantasy VII, or that whole remake thing. Square Enix was like, yeah, having this be exclusive anywhere was a bad idea. We're going to put it everywhere. So I don't know. So, but I think this is maybe just them like kind of trying to defend themselves to some level of being like, hey, we know that like maybe we're not the most valuable place to port your thing to, so we're going to make it easier for you so that you'll still do it, frankly. So that's cool. And then the third thing they did, this is the half thing, is they dropped the "this is an Xbox" marketing.
Yeah, I didn't know this was a thing until they dropped it.
Yeah, so this was famously a Sarah Bond initiative, who is no longer with the company, and it was basically the thing that was like, hey, you don't need to buy an Xbox. And people in the fan base really hated that, because they were like, you shouldn't say that. Like, it's cool for you to like support PC and support cloud gaming. You probably shouldn't have a whole marketing campaign that says no, a console required.
Yeah.
Like, that's probably a bad idea.
Yeah,
and
that's
it seems
stupid.
like Microsoft agrees with that, because they have not chosen for her to replace Phil. Instead, they chose Asha Sharma, and cut that entire marketing campaign basically the second she was out the door. So it is starting to feel like that's a big reason why she wasn't chosen to replace Phil Spencer, even though it seemed like she was being sort of built up to be his successor. It seems like she got into the position and just like made some bad choices, which, looking at the trajectory Xbox has been on the last couple of years, yeah, I believe that. Like, they've been making some bad choices the last little while. So if she was one of the people making them, yeah, I could see why they wouldn't choose her to be the person in charge. I don't know. So nothing super big. It's, Game Developers Conference. GDC's never a thing where they're like, here's the biggest news that you've ever heard in your life. But just a handful, a little sprinkle of like potentially good news in the future of like, more things might come to Xbox if people choose to take advantage of this program. Backwards compatibility is going to come back, but we don't really know how. So it's like, that might be cool. It might be nothing. Who knows? I don't know. It's interesting. We'll have to see. It is, I think, maybe not another week of Xbox like saying the right things and then not doing anything like what we've been talking about the last 2 weeks. Yeah. But, at least it's not them saying anything stupid, which they're usually really good at. So
or sneakily rolling out something evil.
Right. And they will at some point, without a doubt.
Oh yeah, it's just a matter of time.
It could be literally by the time this podcast is aired. They might have done something.
my fear is that we've hit like this spell of PlayStation doing a bunch of shit we don't like and Xbox not doing anything.
Right.
And so it's going to paint this picture that we're pro one or the other.
Right.
But we're not. We're just really waiting. So when Xbox fucks up,
which they will.
It's not going to be a gotcha thing.
Yeah.
It's going to be, all right, well now it's our time to yell at them.
Right.
But until that happens,
I think we did multiple times last year. Like, I think they had layoffs a couple of times last year that we talked about.
Yeah.
And like, hey guys, we'll continue to be on them. Like, I promise we're not pro one or the other.
And here's something, right? It's just, we're anti-AI. Microsoft doing all the AI bullshit. Not gonna fuck up.
Yeah. And I agree with that.
I've yelled at everyone.
I agree with that, and I'm glad that the shareholders also agree with that, because I think that's really the only reason that we're not seeing them just like shove it in everything. Although
turn the tide a little bit.
They did. There was a thing also at GDC where they were like, hey, so Copilot is on the Xbox. So that is in there. I don't know. That one doesn't annoy me as much because like Copilot's basically just a search engine, but it does make me squint. It makes me go like,
Yeah. And the AI search engines suck so bad.
They're so bad. They're so bad. I have to assume the only place I could see Copilot like even making sense on an Xbox is if it was like recommending you games to play, maybe, or something like that. But they already have that, so I don't know why the fuck they would need Copilot.
Everything we've talked about is taught me not to trust any AI algorithm.
Don't. Yeah.
No.
I don't know. I don't know what the move is there. Honestly, there's a solid chance that it's just like, well, we fucking have it. So, because they had Cortana on there for a while, and then
Yeah, I
they
know.
shut down Cortana, and maybe this is just new Cortana, which honestly they probably should have just kept the name Cortana because it was a better name, but whatever. Anyway, hey guys, that's the show. We had a great time hanging out with you. Now we're gonna talk.
We didn't talk. We didn't talk about. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now we're going to talk
I was-
big spoilers for Resident Evil 9 Requiem. If you
I
don't
thought
want
you
to
were-
hear, I scared you. I'm sorry. I should have made it more
You
clear what I was doing.
scared me more than anything in Resident Evil.
That's crazy. If you don't want to hear spoilers, this is your time to get off. This is your last warning. There's not huge spoilers in this game, but there are definitely spoilers, and we're going to talk about all of them. So if you do want to play this game, which I highly recommend because it's right now my game of the year, and I don't know if anything's going to really beat it by the end of the year looking at the rest of the release, just know I think we both very heavily recommend you playing this, and if this is where you have to get off because you don't want to hear those spoilers, I totally understand. Leave a comment and come back once you've played the game and tell us whether or not we're wrong about how much we love it. But until then, we're going to talk about spoilers. Skyler, God, this is a good game. What a crazy game. I will say, the second half of the game where you play as Leon.
Yeah.
People have been calling it a lot of fan service, and I do agree to some extent. I don't think
there's fan service in there for sure.
Yeah. With one exception, I don't think any of it feels out of place. That one exception being that boss fight.
By that boss fight you mean the Tyrant?
Yeah. Where it's like it is just Mr. X. Like it's not Mr. X, but he's wearing the same trench coat. He doesn't have the hat, I guess, but it's like okay, like I get it. Like we're here, we're doing the thing. We've run through a lot of other ones that I feel like made more sense. Like we do a big spider like Resident Evil 1 again. We do Plant 43 or whatever the number is. Like we run through sort of some of the hits from the previous games. But those ones I feel like make more sense because it's just like, oh, that's just a different spider. Or this plant just like had seeds somewhere else, right? Those don't bother me. And the Tyrant doesn't bother me. But it is like, we couldn't give him a different costume or something. Like, he couldn't be a different looking guy. Like, it's a little on the nose.
Yeah. What I would boil down to fan service would be, yes, the Tyrant. Technically, the final fight does mention that it's the Nemesis virus. Now, that's less fan service because it's not like Nemesis himself actually shows up.
It's still a different character and like visually a different character.
Yeah.
So that doesn't bother me at all.
And this is contested by certain people, but what I'm going to refer to from now and for the rest of time as the Hunk fight.
Oh, yeah. Where it's like, this is clearly Hunk, but it's not, but it is.
Yeah. It's not. So, okay. There's debate about this, Daniel. Now, to me, it's Hunk, right? You fight Hunk, and that's cool.
Right.
But there are some people that are like, it's not Hunk because there's this really shitty spin-off game that nobody likes where you play as like people training to be like a Hunk-esque replacement, whatever.
Right.
They think it could be him. But then you zoom in on his hand and he has the same virus thing that Leon has, so it implies he was in Raccoon City, which Hunk was. But then there's also the possibility that it's not Hunk, it's a Hunk clone. That doesn't matter. It's Hunk, right? Like, even if it's a Hunk clone, it's essentially just Hunk. So we're going to call it Hunk.
It is Hunk. Like, well, he showed up and I was like, yeah, that's Hunk. I'm sure it's not literally Hunk, like in canon, but
no, I mean it could be. It's the same voice actor that did his voice lines in RE2 remake.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's either it's Hunk or it's a Hunk clone. It's one of those two in my mind.
What a good thing, by the way, that we just did Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 for replay because I had not played any of those before, and I haven't played the remakes of any of them. So a lot of this may not have played for me if I had not played those like that recently.
The universe bends to our will once again.
Once more. Thank you. Thanks, God. Thanks, Video Game God. Who is, I don't know, Todd Howard or something.
You mentioned the plant, and there's the spider, but like, I've only ever fought a spider once before.
Yeah.
In RE1.
It feels like there has to have been a spider somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like, that's such a...
Oh, no, I'm a fucking... Well, a spider boss fight was only in RE1, but there were spiders in, like, Code Veronica and stuff.
Right, so, that's true. Yeah, you got me.
Of course there's
that. But it's really cool. How do you feel about the Oswald, whatever?
Yeah.
The like, he did a face turn right before he died thing. I'm not crazy about it, but I don't mind it.
So he's really only, other than being a character alluded to in like notes and stuff, we've only ever seen him once before, and that's in Resident Evil 5. where he's
Yeah.
rocking the wheelchair and the tubes in the nose, and he's like, "I'm a god," basically, and then spoilers, Wesker kills him,
I
and
thought,
then
sorry, not to derail, thought that guy was
yeah,
Wesker.
I mean, it is. It's a clone of Wesker.
Okay, I don't know who the fuck
It's
Zeno is. I don't know if he's in other games.
no. This was his debut.
Okay, never. This man, I don't know him, but I thought
No,
he
no,
showed
no.
up and I went, "Is that Wesker?"
Yeah. I was rocking that too, and then obviously he gets called the cheap imitation, which is now that we're introducing clone stuff.
Bringing that over
Trying
from
to
the
think
movies.
trying to think if anything in the games has been clone related before. I don't think so.
I don't think. Yeah, there's definitely a bit of cloning in this with all
Yeah.
the girls. Which that was the section I was alluding to that may not be good. Is the bit where you
The
yeah.
flashback as the little girl thing.
I don't hate it. I think it's like kind of fine. What disappoints me is that it ends up like not mattering at all. Because your assumption when you're playing is like, oh, that's Grace, but it's not. And so then when it turns out that it's not, you're like, so what was the point of that?
So all the little girls that we're like looking at are clones of Grace. That's not expressly said, right?
See, and I didn't even get that. Like, I didn't know if they were clones
or
of
is
her.
Grace part of the same strain?
Is
Did he
Grace
just like is Grace Boba Fett?
is
Did
great?
Spencer pick her out and be like, I'm gonna keep this one as normal?
I got the impression that she was just actually Spencer's daughter.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I don't know though. That was what I came away with, and then I thought there was a minute there where I thought the other girls were either clones of her or clones of like for some reason I thought it was going to be like Mother Miranda's daughter who she was trying to bring back from 8, but I don't know I don't think that's not real. That didn't happen.
I don't think we crossed into
Yeah.
that. No.
They talk about it in like one note, and that made me start thinking about it.
I'm gonna have to do more playthroughs where I obviously didn't get all the notes.
I'm
That's
missing
not,
one.
Playthrough one.
I missed
thing.
one in Raccoon City, and I don't know where the fuck,
dang.
but so I got to go back and get that, I guess. And I missed so many of the raccoons. It's like 5.
Oh, see, I missed like half.
I got into trouble trying to get them at one point because I was like, well, I know where 3 of them are right now, but I don't want to use a bullet to kill them, and I didn't have a knife with Grace.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So I was like, that's the one thing. That's the one thing I would say is like, just make the knives either more durable for her or more easy to get, because they don't
That's second playthrough stuff.
They're not good enough to be as rare as they are. You know what I mean?
Can I tell you that I actually every time I got a knife, I converted it straight to scrap.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I didn't actually use knives.
Yeah, they're useful, but they're not crazy. They don't do anything great. Oh man, it's such an interesting thing. One of the questions that I have going out of it is like, so we got this disease, right? There's like Raccoon City syndrome or whatever it's called, where people who survived the original Raccoon City incident are infected with a version of the T virus that just takes like, for some reason, like 20 years to kill them. Sure, cool, whatever. So. Makes sense. Why not? This is a whole video game series about diseases. Why shouldn't one take a long time? Whatever. It does leave me with questions about like, what about Ada? What about Jill? What about
Ada, Jill, Claire?
Yeah. Does Rebecca have
Carlos?
Because she wasn't there. She was in the Arklay Mountain situation, like at Spencer Mansion. Does that count?
No, I don't think Ada, or excuse me, I don't think Rebecca or Chris would have it since they weren't there. The real question is, would Barry have it if he only flew by in a helicopter? And I think the answer is no, because he doesn't do that in the remake.
Yeah, that's fair.
If we're going by like the remake is the canon one, based on the flashbacks we see in this one.
What a fun thing, by the way, because they do the flashbacks where it's like, oh, here's literally just a scene from the remake, but I haven't played the remakes, so I was like, oh, they made the cutscene from the other one nicer. Basically, it's like, oh, it's that same moment, but like.
Yeah, our boy made it. Leon did not die.
I was so fucking scared. When you're in the trash heap, and then you switch back to Grace. I was like, this is it. This is when it's gonna happen. We're about to lose my boy.
When he had the Blade Runner bit where he laid on the steps.
Yeah.
I thought he was done.
I thought he was dead.
I thought he was absolutely over, but
I was scared shitless.
I assume you pulled the good ending, right?
I did, yeah. Well, because the notes are all pretty clear about like Spencer felt bad, Elpis is a cure, like they make that pretty clear by the end of it. And then obviously
Yeah,
right before you choose it, they're like, "You're my hope" or whatever, and you're like, "Okay, so
yeah.
yeah,
I wasn't even going off of all that. It's just like because Leon tells you like just break it, but then right before you make the choice, Grace has this moment of like, wait, no, I have an idea, and I was like, I'm trusting you, Grace.
yeah,
This is on you,
yeah,
no
yeah."
matter what happens. And yeah, that's the good ending,
Um,
obviously. If I had one complaint narratively,
sure,
and it's not even at the end of the day something I don't like. It's fine. It's just how it was given to us, and I'm talking the very very end.
okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, it's that bit Muppets Christmas Carol and Tiny Tim who did not die.
Oh yeah,
They do that with Emily.
I I
And like
agree, I
in
agree.
that moment, I was like, okay, that's our story DLC. Like we're
'Cause,
gonna
yeah, we're gonna go fix
because
her or
because
whatever.
Leon looks and he's like, I didn't shoot her in any vitals, so we can. And I'm like, okay, that's what we're gonna do. And then we just see like, no, she's fine.
Yeah, she's
Like, oh,
okay. We
okay.
got family
Which
pictures with her on the desk and shit.
which I assume that still there's a solid chance that still will be our story DLC.
It
Will
could
be
be,
Leon
yeah.
going to find
I
her.
I could see that. I could also see it just being like, and this is crazy and probably not going to be the case. What I want it to be is like, it's Ada going in to get the cure for herself.
Put Ada in the game.
Because that would be, I mean, that would be top tier. That would be,
Imagine, imagine if that's like a summer game fest or even if they like as late as the Game Awards.
sure.
Like if that's the trailer that they do, like we got a little update for Resident Evil, and then we see Ada. Like that'd be a crazy trailer.
I'd shit myself. I'd shit myself to
Yeah,
death.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
would love that. Especially like we got to keep the tradition going of every time Leon is in a game, Ada's there to make his life harder. We gotta continue that trend.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. You so I did cut from our previous our take recap last week. I did cut you like low key kind of accidentally spoiling that the girl wasn't dead.
I did because I misunderstood exactly where you were. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
But
because
yeah, it
I
was
was like,
right
no, she fucking
before.
died. Like, because it switches. Because that was truly one of my favorite bits of the game. Is like Grace spends an hour or whatever running from this girl, and
Yeah,
uh and then Leon just rolls it and
just
blows
comes in
her
and wastes
fucking
it.
head off with the Requiem, and you're like,
Hmm.
God damn, he's cool. And then you were like,
Yeah,
well, then what are you talking about? I was like, no, he all right.
yeah. Sorry about that. But
I because at that point, and even going forward, I was afraid that it was like because you were just like, oh, the girl. I was like, does he mean Emily? Like, does Emily also turn into which she does? But I was like, does she also turn into a monster that like we have to run away from?
no,
Um,
not we didn't have to run away from her. Luckily,
yeah, 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 yeah.
she turns into just like a full-on SCP monster too.
Yeah, like a weird baby thing. I didn't like that design. Which it's on screen for 1 second, so who cares? But like, not a great one. Not their best
Hmm.
work.
Trying to think where I would place Victor Gideon as like our on a ranking of main
Mm.
antagonists.
He was confusing to me because I don't remember seeing Spencer and stuff. And so when they showed him in the
Yeah,
flashback
Spencer.
with the
Yeah,
same haircut, I was like, is Victor Gideon like, is he Spencer? Is that a situation that's
no.
happening here? I was like, that doesn't make, because they also have kind of the same voice. They have that same like Igor ass, like, yes, my
Uh,
precious, or whatever.
uh,
Uh, to like, obviously Victor's is like way worse, but is this what we're doing? Like, is he like maybe like a kid or like a clone or something of Spencer? But no, he's just some fucking guy who like ultimately doesn't do much. Like he kind of sucks.
yeah. So I think he suffers from like a massive aura drop off in the second half.
For
In the
sure.
first
Yeah.
half, when you like going through the hotel and he's there, it's just like okay, this dude's fucking Mondo creep. This is spooky. And then by the end, he's like, the plan was wrong, just as I expected. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. Yeah. Him and Zeno, I think, are both like not super strong villains. But to be fair, I don't know that Resident Evil is like known for great villains. You know what I mean? Like it's the horror of the whole situation, not necessarily
Yeah,
like a
I
boss.
th- I
So
think you would put the monsters above the villains, but if you were just
yeah.
ranking villains, obviously Wesker would be number. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm biased.
I mean, I
because I'm
like
one of those people
Wesker.
who
He is
doesn't.
goofy,
I
but
don't.
yeah.
I don't dislike Resident Evil 5, which is the one where you fight him in. I'm trying to think in just our experience of
Yeah.
on replay specifically, where he was the only human villain in 1,
Yeah, but you don't like
and
fight him or
then
anything.
2 there's the Birkins,
Right. But they're
I
not even,
guess.
they're more like sympathetic than anything.
Yeah, and then 3 there's Nikolai.
Who does suck?
Yeah, and then not counting 4 because we haven't done that
We
on the
haven't done that
channel
one
yet.
yet. The Code
The
Veronica had
Code
the,
Code Veronica, we had the twins, and then Wesker was there as well.
right. Of those ones, it might be the twins. Just because Wesker doesn't basically do anything in the first game.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I don't know. It's not a series known for like great villains. It's really more like the setting is the villain, the monsters are the villain. And this game does a great job with that. Like the girl's great. Chunk is something.
Man, he's so angry.
He's so mad. Was I?
Or
Oh,
is Chunk a she?
no, I don't think so. Because there's a note that you pick up as Leon,
Oh,
like when you
okay.
first switch to him, that it had their names, and I don't remember what it is now. But I don't think they were women because there's 2 of them.
There are 2 of them. Yeah, you're right.
Because I remember picking up that note and being like, "Oh, that's Chunk," and then it has a second name, and it's like the same problem, but, and I was like, "Oh fuck," and then he's in the next room. So
I like the hospital quite a bit.
the hospital's great. I like the hospital better than Raccoon City, frankly.
I still maybe well it's because I've played the remake that I really like the police station more in the remake than the original 2, I guess.
It's a good little like, hey, we're back in this place, and I did get that even though it wasn't the same layout as the one that I've played through.
Sure.
I kind of wish we'd spent more time there. Like you blow through that bitch fast.
It's a very short part of the game.
Yeah,
you're right.
Or like if maybe after that we had gone to a different location from 2. Maybe
just the gun shop right outside.
Yeah, I guess we do spend like 1 second. That cutscene felt a little out of place. Of like, remember our best friend Kendo? And I was like, not really.
You know what? What I'll tell you is I don't remember in the original, but in the 2 remake, the orphanage that we go to in this gets a lot more play. There's a whole section in there.
Oh, you go to the orphanage?
Yeah.
I don't remember going to the orphanage in original 2.
I don't either. If anything, there was a note where we read about some shit. I don't actually remember, but in the remake. There is you go to the orphanage. There's a whole actually it's one of the segments that gamers complain about, very similar to what you do in the orphanage in this one, in like the little flashback.
Oh, okay.
I'll just tell you now, because it wouldn't technically even be a spoiler because you played the original.
Sure.
But you play as little kid Sherry in the orphanage, hiding from Chief Iron.
Oh.
You have spooky. To like you know it's
because he's probably, like a known sex offender.
Yeah, and you have to like he's like with a flashlight looking for you. You have to hide around corners and stuff. It's a part that spooks me out.
Yeah.
In a 1000%, the thing that scares me most in video games will always be being chased.
Sure.
Being helpless and being chased and just having to run and hide, which is what Resident Evil does to you a lot. So for me, in that spot, it's like exactly the same place, and I was like, "Oh, okay, so go through this door," and I remember down here, and then you go this way to get out that way. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't realize it was honestly, I was like, "Oh, new location, cool." Like I didn't, it was nothing for me. But it was, it was cool. But I was just like, I don't know what any of this. I don't really have too much more to say about this. I think it really, this game's absolutely phenomenal. I think it's like just short of a 10 out of 10. I'd give it like probably a 9.5.
We're in a weird position where you said it earlier, where it's just like this has all the makings to be game of the year, and we're only in March.
Yeah.
So it's weird to say that. The same thing happened 2024 when Dune Part 2 came out.
Oh, yeah,
at like the start of the year, and I was like, "Oh, this is my movie of the year," but like the year hasn't happened yet, so let's wait. But at the end of the year, it was my movie of the year.
Yeah.
So
you're like, this is the guy to beat. Who's gonna do it? Don't make me tap the signs.
No one did.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What do we think has the possibility to top this, if anything?
Oh man, I'd have to pull up a list. I had a whole thing of like, what are the games I'm looking forward to this year? In terms of, man, For me personally, probably nothing. For general public, I think Wolverine has a shot.
Oh yeah. Well, of course, the Schrodinger's Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, if Grand Theft Auto comes out,
But
although
but
I've never,
again,
again,
that's
I've
not that's not going to be my answer.
yeah, me and you have never been huge Grand Theft Auto guys. Like that's not going to be a game that we'll probably enjoy it, but I don't think it's going to like speak to us on the same level. You know what I mean? As like
Wolverine,
your general, your chud gamer who just wants to get in there and punch a prostitute or whatever that game's about.
the derogatorily they're called ball and gun gamers.
Ball and gun gamers.
Where all they play is sports games and shooting games. Yeah.
I guess Grand Theft Auto falls into that category. Sure. Yeah. Why not? Yeah. I don't know. Fable comes out this year. That's going to be a good one too, I think.
I'm gonna say there's a chance. What if 007 comes out and it's like just as good as like Indiana Jones? You know.
But I wouldn't put like Indiana Jones above.
It's got a lot to prove. No, I don't think I would either. But it's
going to be a tough one to beat. Honestly,
yeah.
The more likely scenario is that if there is a game that comes out and is like better than this, it's going to be one that we didn't see coming. It's going to be some like left field thing that just like blows up the way like Metaphor or Expedition 33 or whatever.
It's dude, they're shadow dropping Fallout 5 this summer.
Oh yeah, Fallout 5 for sure. Yeah, no doubt.
Of course.
I did have one more like nitpick about the game, and it is about the voice acting. I think they're very good, but I think the direction needed work on specifically Grace. Because I think that voice actress is very talented, and she does a great job of being terrified.
She was scared the whole time.
That's my problem. Is like once we get to the end of the game, she should not be stuttering like that anymore.
Narratively, you feel that she has come a long way.
Yeah,
I think from that moment where she decides to try to save Emily and drops down into the dark,
when
that's her moment where she. I mean, she shouldn't not be scared from then on.
She should be terrified in that section. I think from the point that point is the turning point. I think from the point that she kills the girl and like low key kind of heel turns and joins up with Zeno, she should not be stuttering at that point.
Yeah,
and like I get it. Like that's her character, as she is scared. But like nothing that she puts up with in the second half is even half as spooky as the shit she does at that hospital.
No, and she's more competent. She was taking people out.
She's one-shotting liquors with acid bottles. Like
hell yeah.
She's better at fighting them than Leon.
No, I think she's just. I said it before. I think Grace is neurodivergent.
Most likely.
I think there's certain like way that Grace wouldn't like look people in the eyes, and the way she stuttered and got like very nervous, and I'm like she's built differently.
Yeah.
But by hook or by crook, she's gonna do it. We love Grace in this house.
Yeah. I love Grace, but it did definitely get to the point where
I know what you're saying.
We were rolling in on like the last couple of cutscenes of the game, and she's like, "What do you mean?" And I'm like, "Brother,
yeah.
You killed the spookiest monster in multiple games.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
I did start a second playthrough, and I decided. I know that you were here when I started my first playthrough, right?
Right.
And I was like messing around with the lighting and the brightness, and I don't know if I got it to a point where it didn't bother me anymore, but like my first session problems we solved. I was fine with it. But I did decide I was like trying to do third person with Grace because I didn't like how bright the flashlight was in first person. But after you left, I did switch it back to first person, and that's how I did the whole game. But then when I started my second playthrough, I was like, okay, well, let's do third person because, I don't know, third person just feels more Resident Evil to me. But man, when you're trying to run from the girl in third person, Grace is like, she's got banana peels tied to her shoes.
Yeah,
she's slipping. The animation, she's like stumbling right at the door, and I'm like, "Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
No!"
Well, and it's crazy
because it's so much worse.
I also played that section in first person. I switched about maybe halfway through the hospital to third person because I was like, people keep saying that the effect of her hair looks really good, and I wanted to see that, and so whatever. But yeah, I've seen clips of like her running and just tripping over things. And I'm like, when you're in first person, you're just like going, like there's none of that.
Yeah. No. It's actually a hindrance to the gameplay.
A little bit. Well, okay, everybody. That's our talk on Resident Evil 9. Hope you liked it. Hope you liked the game, and hope you liked our show. If you want to tell us what you thought about the game, you can tell us so in the comments below here on YouTube and or on Spotify. Those are the two places where you might potentially be listening to us right now. Did you know we're in the other place? Because you could go and subscribe to us there too. That'd be pretty cool. We'd appreciate it a lot. You can follow the show on Twitter at @RSR_POD. You can follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Daniel J. McG.
You can follow me on Blue Sky at Skyler8bit.
And until next time, everybody, we'll see you around.
Bye-bye.
The game's just starting, the world's so bright. Jump right in, everything